The Eveready LED light strings from B&M Home Stores.
Hello, welcome to Paul McGee Electronics. I'm Paul, and in this video I'm going to discuss the Eveready LED light strings with solar charging that you can currently purchase at time of filming from B&M Home Stores in the United Kingdom. Okay, I found these at the Catterick Garrison branch, which is literally a stone's throw away from my home address. And this is actually the second attempt on this video, because the first attempt I thought was a bit rambly and drawn out. So a little bit of background on these LED light strings is it came to my attention that B&M sold light strings like this all year round through a video by Clive from YouTube channel bigclive.com. So I'm not going to go into the same sort of depth he would, like explaining how the circuit works and drawing schematics and such like, because that would be just copying his stuff, which I don't want to do. Instead, I'm just going to look at really how these things can actually be used as a cheap source of LEDs, solar panels, and, well, as I've already had them open, questionable but rechargeable battery. Because when I opened them up for the original video that I've decided not to bother with because it's too drawn out, I noticed that the battery was about, I think it was about like 500 mAh, which is quite low capacity for a battery, but I suppose it's only driving some LEDs. And I did discover that there didn't seem to be any resistor anywhere for the LEDs, and some kind of 5-pin IC which I can't identify because although I found the data sheet for it, it was all in Chinese, and, well, I can't read Chinese, can I? So there you go. And I couldn't find an actual PDF of it, so there's no way to actually translate it, and it probably wouldn't have translated very well anyway because Chinese never does. So like I say, I've already had a look. I did notice there was a bit of dodgy soldering as well, so some of the wires have come adrift when I've been looking inside it. But I'll go over that when we get to the desk. So, right, I'll crack on with that, because I bought two sets, a coloured set and a warm white set. I don't like cool white very much, but I might buy a cool white set as well, just so I've got those LEDs in stock as well, because it's nice to have a nice selection. And also it'd be good for the solar panel. So I will get those onto the bench and have a look. The warm white ones, because I'm going to take the coloured ones apart at a later date just for the LEDs and the solar panel. So let's have a look. Okay, so we're at the desk, and in my last video obviously I did say I need to take anti-static precautions and such like. So I will be taking those momentarily, but the first thing I'm going to do is find the warm white LED light string, which I've already started dismantling, and we'll go over that. That's the box they came in. There's something rattling around in there. I've already been inside the solar panel, which is this little unit here. Bring that onto camera. It's covered in protective plastic, and it doesn't look as though it's going to be that brilliant of a solar panel. That's pretty much what's inside. Most of the wires have broke off because of dodgy soldering, or in this case the terminals just come off. But the bit I'm interested in is obviously going to be this solar panel and other uses for this case. The battery is on the desk already, which is this little thing here. It's a nickel metal hydride battery. It's only 500 mAh, which is quite low capacity for a battery, but I suppose it's just running these LEDs. So I've got this little board with a switch on it, which either puts into flashing mode or normal mode. That I'm pretty sure is an inductor, because judging by the data sheet for this IC, which I kind of managed to get some kind of information from, there's an inductor in the circuit, and the battery connects to the top of the board, as does the solar panel. Solar panels come adrift because of, well, the battery negatives come adrift because of the dodgy soldering. So I tested that solar panel. It's not quite 2 to 3 volts, but I'm going to test it again on camera anyway, because, you know, makes sense. So if I just drop that down there and bring my test meter in, I have a Unity UT58C test meter, very good meter. I bought that from Maplin, but you can get those from other places. The only problem I've ever had with it really is when I accidentally blew the fuse and I was measuring current on a piece of amateur radio gear, when I misjudged how much current would be running through it. So that's the panel. The meter should still be in shot, all being well. So negative to the panels going to the negative terminal of the battery box, which I find quite bizarre. Positives going to there. What this circuit actually does is when there's no light being cast onto the solar panel, it switches the LEDs on. I'm not actually sure how that works. I've not quite figured it out, but I don't intend to anyway. I'm struggling to get contact on there. It's already set to the volt setting, so it should... There we go. I had something, now it's gone. There we go. Oh, hang on. So I've got 1.94 volts there, but I think I'm going to get more voltage off that if I'm lucky, depending on how much sun I put through it. So I'm going to take it outside, because 1.94 volts there, you can probably just see that through my hands. 1.94 to 1.95 volts I'm getting off that panel. But the more sun that's exposed to, the more electricity it will put through. I'm not sure what the current rating of that panel is, but we'll come to that later, because I'm going to revisit the solar panel. Now here's a string of LEDs, or what's left of them. It's just like little LEDs like that. They're all warm white. I did test the set and it did work. Well, I'm not going to be reconnecting it anytime soon. There was an LED at this position here, but the soldering was that shoddy it just broke off. So that was, well, kind of unexpected. So, and it was obviously also at this position as well, where connections from that LED came in. Now all the LEDs had green tape around them, which I'm suspecting might have been there to make them waterproof. Now this camera doesn't like to autofocus for whatever reason, bear with me. So that's the LED, I'm just using the black box there as a bit of a background. I'm not convinced that soldering's been done very well, but it looks like most of the legs of the LED are intact. I took this one apart just to see if I could find a resistor, but obviously I couldn't. So I'm not sure what they're using as a resistor on them, because there should be a resistor somewhere. What I also did, although I'm not sure whether this was either brave or foolish, was pop one of the LEDs straight across this slightly dead 9 volt battery, which actually came out of this test meter. And that 9 volt battery isn't reading 9 volts anymore, so I think I might have been okay regardless. This 9 volt battery is actually reading 7.5 volts. So it made the LED light up quite bright, but I should have really put a resistor in there just to stop that from happening and stop me running the risk of burning the LED out. Now I'm not sure where that LED went, though that doesn't matter overly much. Could have been still on this desk, it might not be. However, they're actually a very good source of LEDs, because they're just cheaply made and you can just strip them down. So you're getting 120 LEDs for about £7, complete with a solar panel and a load of wire. So 120 LEDs and a solar panel for £7. You could probably get that many LEDs for something similar. I'm not sure how much it costs for a bag of LEDs these days, because obviously you can get them from China quite cheaply. But if you don't want to wait about 2 or 3 weeks, or even a month for delivery from China, just get those. So I've got another set, which is coloured LEDs, which I'm obviously going to go through. So I don't really think much of this wire. I don't think it's rated very high, so you could probably use that on low voltage applications. I wouldn't use it in anything, and low current as well. Oh, probably only rated probably an amp at most. I wouldn't try on anything higher than that. So, but I'm still curious about that mystery IC, and if I do find out anything more about it, I'll update the video. So you can still see bits on the desk where I've actually been pulling that string apart. I mean, it's quite interesting as well, actually. It's a very tiny little circuit board. I was expecting a bigger board in there, but no, it's just a really tiny little tidy circuit board with nothing more than a switch, an inductor, and this 5-pin component. I think it's 5-pin. Yes, 5-pin. Yeah, 5-pin component where the only data sheet appears to be in Chinese. Yeah, so that's all that really is. So I'm not going to reverse engineer that circuit or anything. I'm more interested in just taking the solar panel out and using that for something else. And what I might do, because I've got a couple of days off next week, if the weather's really sunny, I'm going to try and take the solar panels outside and see what I can get with them. So, yeah. Sounds good. Couple of cheap solar panels, which you could probably use in some project, and a load of cheap LEDs, which you could use in a project. Don't need to use them for the intended purpose, and which is actually outdoors in trees in a garden. But I don't think they're very waterproof. In fact, there was no rubber seal around the control unit when I took it apart. So I don't think it's very waterproof. So they'd probably fail within a week if you actually used them outdoors. So that's actually quite a good one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously spend a bit of time taking this string apart and obviously putting the LEDs into some kind of storage. The first thing I'm going to do there is I'm going to disconnect that solar panel and find out how it performs in the sun. And I'll be doing another video on that. So until the next one. Have fun tinkering and get yourself down to B&M, get a set of these and, well, take them apart, use them for LEDs. Because let's face it, it's the quickest way you're going to get LEDs, and there's a B&M in pretty much every single town in this country near enough. And it could be literally 2 minutes away from you, which in my case it is. So, right, until the next one.
Don't forget to subscribe to Paul McGee Electronics and ring the bell if you'd like to be notified about new videos as I upload them. Until the next one.